This copy of Battle Tanks does not work, unfortunately, and it's really dirty. So I'm going to show you in this video how to get it cleaned up, and it'll start looking good, so that way you can resell it. Starts off with a toothbrush, just some light water, some Dawn dish soap. Want to make sure that most of the saturation does not end up on the label. Once the toothbrush dries a good amount and some of the water goes away, I'll put it on the label. Now, while scrubbing the label, it's very, very light compared to the rest of the cartridge. The reason I use a toothbrush is because it gets into the texture of the cartridge really well as into all the grooves. Elbow grease into them. It's only the label that you really want to be careful with. Again, always make sure you're really light with the label. And always wipe down the label as you go. You don't want to end up saturating the label. That's where problems end up coming in. But the labels are sturdy enough to handle a little bit of cleaning. And then you'll do the same thing with the back. Now, unfortunately, as I was getting on the back label of this, I was realizing there is some sort of gum or a foreign material that's just not very common, and it's extremely sticky, and it's all over the back label. So I went ahead and saturated the back label because I'm basically going to remove most of it. You never want to saturate the pins. So to clean the pins, you want to take some isopropyl alcohol, a Q-tip, run the Q-tip along the edge, and then give it a nice cleaning. Make sure you get both sides and that you're cleaning the ground pins as well. I'm struggling a little bit because I'm noticing there's something wrong with this cartridge, and we'll go a little more on that. Now, another step that I like to take is I like to take a nail file that has an extremely high grit sandpaper. It's a grit that you can barely feel on your fingers. And what I'll do is I will actually take that and I will sand down the gold on the pins in order for them to make a better connection into the cartridge. So you just kind of want to give it a you don't want to be heavy with it. You want to be light, give it a quick go across each side of the pins, and then you want to hit the ground pins on the other side as well. Go ahead, give it another go. And you'll kind of see that there's a texture that forms over the pins. It's extremely normal. And so what you're going to do after that happens is you're just going to take a Q-tip and you're going to give it one more cleanup with a Q-tip and isopropyl alcohol. Now, this Q-tip ended up quite dirty, so we are going to take another Q-tip and go ahead and give it one more go, just to get it that extra special. And you'll take a paper towel. Texture of paper towel helps get the pins nice and textured again, so that way when you insert it into the console, it gets a good connection. Then you'll just disinfect the entire thing with isopropyl alcohol. For now, look at those ground pins. They're bent, and that's another reason they won't work. So we're going to take a game bit tool, and we're going to go ahead and unscrew the cartridge and get into it. Don't want to lose your little screws, so make sure that you're in a work spot that you aren't going to drop them onto a carpet. I noticed that there was a little bit of rust in there. Clean that up off of the metal plate. And then you'll take a Phillips screwdriver, get those two little screws off of the grounding plate. Again, don't want to lose or drop your screws. And with a little bit of love, it'll just kind of pop right off of there. Nice. So after you do that, you'll just go ahead and take your fingers and you'll just go ahead and bend them back into place as they should go. So it's nice and straight. And then while I'm in there, I'm going to go ahead and look at the game board, take a look at the pins, see that they're all right. Game board is extremely clean. Just slap everything back together. Here's a little bit of a close-up of what the screws look like as they go in. Make sure to get all the lint and hair off of there. Clip the cartridge back together. Alright, so we are going to plug it into the test console that is region free. And we have Battle Tanks. It is now a working copy of Battle Tanks, and it is ready for sale at the Tommy's Hobby store. This particular one will be sale at acceptable condition, which means a player can buy it at a cheap price just to have the game to play, but it's not going to hold much of a collector value due to the labels being ripped and just the overall condition not being great. But if you love your old games and you just want to play it on a budget, this is the type of copy that you would get. You don't have to worry about beating it up, and you're ready.